thank us for the ODL table preparation course for today. Before we get started, I'd like to go over a few items so you will know how to participate in today's training. This session will be recorded and will be streaming live via the PKPKA Facebook page. The participants will have the opportunity to submit text questions by typing your questions into the chat box. You may send your questions at any time during the presentation. We will collect these and address them during the Q&A sessions, whether maybe during the break or at the end of today's presentation. Okay, I believe table 4 is a topic many of us can relate to. How does the conventional of blended learning table 4 compare to the ODL question? This shall be our main discussion for today. Firstly, let me introduce our speaker. She is no stranger to the e-learning in UMS. We have invited her before for several events in UMS. So I would like to share some biodata of the speaker. Screen. Belum keluar lagi. Okay. Screen dah nampak dah?
Nampak tapi gelap.
Oh, because Webex nampak tapi gelap, mana belum.
Slow connection. Okay.
Okay, is my slides is already there?
Okay.
Okay. Our speaker today, actually already been introduced yesterday, but I told Dr. Azidah that I want to introduce her with some pictures. Our speaker is a senior lecturer in the School of Educational Studies, University Science Malaysia, USM. She is currently the Deputy Director of the Center for Development of Academic Excellence, CDAE, USM. Her research interests are in the area of instructional design, e-learning and M-learning, educational technology, ICT and multimedia, and 21st century learning. She is the recipient for the prestigious Anugerah Akademik Negara 2017 for the category Anugerah Pengajaran. And also, she is also the recipient of the Gold Award for Best Learning Model Blended in LearnX Impact Award 2018 in Melbourne, Australia. Since 2012, she has been appointed as MQA assessor in the area of ICT, multimedia, and ODL. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our speaker today, Associate Professor Dr. Azidah Abu Ziden. So without Dr. Azidah, without further ado, because I think everybody is very anticipating this session today, I would like to hand over the session to you, and the screen is yours.
Thank you, Salmie, my friend. Okay, so Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning everybody. Alhamdulillah, all right. This is my, this is the continuity from yesterday's session. I hope that we can extend the previous session on M2A01 on ODL towards today's session, which is preparation of table 4 in open distance learning. All right, so I think that for me, giving talk to people will actually help me also to learn new things. All right, so because of your questions and so on, so I think that I'm really looking forward to give talk to everybody so that we can share and then I can learn new things too. All right, that is how I do my talk actually. All right, so for today, all right, for today's session, I'm going to start with the guidelines to good practices for assessment of students. Okay, so this document is was produced in 2011 or 12, but it is still be used, all right, for good practices. This is a general guide, not only for ODL, but it can help us to identify the SLT of students. All right, so today's session will mostly focus on SLT because assessment and SLT, we are going to talk about SLT generally, okay, and then I'm going to focus on assessment, then we are going to go to table 4. All right, I know that some of us are quite confused on the elements of table 4. Then there are some issues in making sure that if we embark on ODL, the SLT of ODL being displayed correctly in our table 4. If not, we will have problem during the accreditation process. Okay, so that's why I'm going to go to the guideline to good practices, okay, of assessment of students. Okay, I'm going to go through a little bit so that you can read later on the PEO, PLO, and so on. All right, I think that most of us sometimes I highlight this because I found that some of us, when I do audit and so on, they don't really understand the concept of PEO, PLO, and some of the lecturers, they just do the table 4 according to their understanding, and then when we ask something, they don't understand. They just put the hours, SLT hours. Even SLT is not very clear to some of us. Okay, so so I'm going to start with the guideline first. All right, so in MQA, we are looking at OBE. Okay, OBE learning outcomes. All right, so in our program, okay, in your program, when you would like to embark, okay, if let's say you have a new program that you would like to do, the PPT HTP would like to do, then you must have a clear mind about, clear knowledge about OBE. Okay, so OBE means starting with a clear picture of what is important for students to be able to do. Okay, so when you start to develop your program, you have in your mind what is important for your students, okay, for the prospective student to be able to do first. Okay, you don't say, okay, I would like to teach this, I would like to teach that. No, what at the end of the course, at the end of the program, what students will be able to do. Okay, so for example, if let's say I'm teaching in the School of Education, all right, so at the end of the program, I'm seeing my students will be able to teach. Okay, not only being able to teach, but they will be able to be a creative teacher. Okay, so then how to be a creative teacher? Then creative and innovative teacher. So that should be in my mind. Okay, and beyond creative teacher, what else we would like them to be able to do when they graduated? All right, so OBE is we start with a clear picture what is important for students to be able to do. Then we organize the curriculum. Okay, when you already know what you want, what is important for your students to do, then we organize the curriculum. Then we prepare the instruction, then assessment to make sure that his or her learning ultimately happen. All right, this is from Sweden, 1994. All right, so whoever joined the webinar, can you please mute your microphone? Can you please mute your microphone? All right. All right, so next. Organize the curriculum. Okay, when we already. All right, so outcome-based education, we specify the desirable outcomes students should be able to demonstrate. I think, you know, you are well versed of this OBE. I just would like to highlight about OBE because it will reflect our table 4 later on, okay? Meaning that what outcomes, what are the desirable outcomes that you would be able, your students would be able to demonstrate upon they participating in your program, the program that you want to develop or have been developed. All right. So, and then OBA, okay, outcome-based assessment. All right. The OBE is outcome-based education. Outcome-based assessment method should be constructively aligned. I think that, you know, some of us has problem to make sure that our PEO, PLO, and our assessment methods, okay, to make it constructively aligned with the achievement of the LOC's learning outcomes. All right. So you must make sure that, okay, when you choose your assessment task or instrument, okay, it the assessment are constructively aligned with the attainment of the LOs, meaning that if your CLO stated that at the end of this course, student will be able to do that, so to do whatever, all right? So your assessment should reflect that, okay, meaning that they will achieve the LOs. Okay, so this is overview of OBE. And then, so the intended learning outcome of the curriculum, this is the structure of the curriculum, learning outcomes of the curriculum, learning outcomes for your course, for example, and then you formulated the learning outcome first, all right? And then from these, the assessment criteria are developed, okay? The main problem when I audited the table 4, all right, the first thing that I would like to see is a correct, okay, correct is not a good word actually, but a measurable learning outcomes, okay, and the assessment will be able to achieve, okay, we have to make sure that whatever the assessment we are doing will achieve, we lead to the learning outcomes of the students. All right, so the first thing when I check is the learning outcomes in table 4, whether the lecturers have developed the learning outcomes correctly. Okay, sometimes they just put that after the end of the course, students will be able to understand, then it is out. All right, so it should be measurable. You cannot include learning outcomes that is not measurable. We cannot measure understanding, so it is incorrect. All right, and then you are going to do the assessment, and then, okay, you design the assessment first, then you design the teaching learning activities. Okay, but what we always do is we design the curriculum, then on the learning, teaching and learning activities, barulah then we are going to the assessment. Okay, that is the way we think. Okay, usually lecturers think like that. Okay, you have the curriculum. Okay, nak mengajar macam mana? How do we teach? Alright, and then okay, after we teach, how do we assess student? Alright, so actually you need to have the curriculum first, and then you design the assessment. Alright, what activities are organized to assess the student, to evaluate the students so that the students will be able to meet the assessment criteria. Alright, then you go to the teaching and learning activities. So I hope that this is clear to all the lecturers, and you, if let's say you are from the quality center and so on, please make sure that your lecturers in your HEPs, your institution, make sure that they know that this is the process, not you do the teaching and learning activities first and then you go to assessment. Okay, all right, so we are trying to relate the constructive alignment model to learning taxonomies. There are a few learning taxonomies. All right, here we have Bloom taxonomy. Okay, one thing that I can see from my audit, all right, I mentioned yesterday, okay, last week I went for 2 audits, all right. In one of the PPT, what I found that, okay, they have prepared a very good documentation. Okay, we are satisfied with the documentation. However, when I look at table 4, I can see that, all right, they are only looking at Bloom taxonomy, the cognitive part. So when you are looking at the cognitive part, you are going to look at only students' cognitive domain. All right. So in our assessment method, all right, we should, okay, in our teaching and learning assessment, in our constructive alignment, we need to look at cognitive domain, affective domain, and what is another one?
Psychomotor.
Psychomotor, yes. All right. All right. So meaning that in your table 4, it should reflect, because you are doing the table 4 for one course, but you are going to align it with other courses. All right. We are going to make sure that each of the domains will be addressed by all or in all the courses. So this is very important. Okay, and as I mentioned earlier, the PPT that the HPP that we audit last week, okay, the table for all cognitive, all the table for our cognitive domain. In cognitive domain, meaning that all need to have final exams. Okay, and you must remember, final exam is not necessary, it is not a must if you can address the learning outcomes using affective and psychomotor domain. All right. Okay, so let me just go to page 11, all right, in the guideline of good practice. Okay, so this is the, you can Google this particular document, all right. So I would like to highlight the table 2. Okay. So when you like to develop your program, okay, so you need to go to look at this table 2, all right, and then you try to put in this PEO, okay, PEO is program educational objective, and then program learning outcomes, and then course learning outcome. You need to constructively align these 3 in your program. Okay, I'm talking about program. Okay, so in the course also table a table in table 4 that you need to highlight this. All right. And some of our lecturers, okay, what they do is they just tick. Okay, they just tick. Okay, rasa-rasanya CLO ini adalah constructively aligned with, rasa-rasanya ada kot PLO 4, so just tick. Okay, it is just from perasaan. Alright. So I think the knowledge of each PLO in your institution need to be highlighted. Alright. The PEO of your vision and mission as well. Okay, whatever we do in our institution, we'll go back to our vision and mission, and then the PEO, and then the PLO, and then the CLO. All right, so what is the definition of PEO? Broad and that describe the career and professional accomplishment of the graduates within 5 years of upon graduation. Okay, this is, if you don't understand what PEO is, you look at this particular definition, okay, and try to imagine, visualize, okay, how your graduate, what they will achieve, they accomplish within 5 years after they graduate. All right, so this is the how people write the PEO from this definition. All right. And then the program definite outcome will include the abilities of cognitive, psychomotor, and affective that graduate should be able to demonstrate at the time of graduation. Jadi sebelum mereka dapat the degree, before they got their degree or their masters and so on, they should be able to demonstrate their abilities in these 3 domains. All right, this is the graduation, before graduation. This specific course learning outcome, specific statement of what the learners are expected to achieve at the end of the course. Okay, at the end of a course ABC 1 through 3, students able to have what? They will be able to achieve what? Is the good acts of good practice, yeah? Of good. Right, so of assessment, I think guidelines and student. So you see some of your friends, lecturers, staff, they are not able to differentiate what is PEO, what is PLO, and what PLO. You can ask this particular document so they will know that how to differentiate. This is after graduate, this is before graduate, and then this is in one course. So if a program has 50 courses, then they would be able, they have achieved 50 courses learning outcomes. Alright, this is smaller. Alright, masih lagi banyak lah. Alright, alright. So this is cognitive. Alright, so the PEO, program educational objective, the knowledge skills in providing service to IT industry locally and globally. So what our student will be able to do after graduation. This is PEO. Then in the program, students will be able to apply mathematics, apply programming, and so on. All right, before graduation. Okay, so when they graduate, they have all this, they can apply the mathematics and so on. And then CLO at the end of the course, student can they can differentiate and so on. So this is in cognitive. Then we have here affective domain. Affective, let's see, just now we're talking about cognitive. They can find the skill. Here, they can lead. Something that cannot measure with exams. All right. So, but we can see from, if we are doing assessment, we can see that they can do presentation, they can communicate. In a group work, they can lead. So this is PEO. All right. So at the end of after within 5 years of their graduation, they will be able to, we can see that, oh, that is our students. He used to be our students lah, tengok dekat TV. All right. Wow, he can speak. Okay, he can deliberate the IT whatever IT problem in Malaysia. So that is our student with effective domain. All right. And then for PLO, all right. So PLO in effective domain, they will able, before graduation, we can see, okay, the student, when he present, he is very effective communication skills. Okay, he always present during class participation, class activities. He is one who effectively communicate. Okay, and then they can show teamwork and so on. This is just an example, but if effective domain will be more than this lah. All right, so just at the end of the course, student be able to, this is CLO. They can do a presentation. So, all right. Okay. So another one is dia tak letak di psychomotor. Now PEO, if it is a PEO on psychomotor, then you will, your students will be, for example, an IT instructor, they will be able to demonstrate, okay, to meaning that dia terkenal dengan or bukanlah terkenal, but they will be able to do hands-on on various things on IT that is observable. All right, okay, you can see, okay, this person come to your house and do something, for example, so they have the psychomotor skills of the IT. All right, so and then PLO, similar like that. Okay, at the end of the course, the program, the students will be able to do something. All right, they have a hands-on skill, psychomotor. All right, for example, sometimes people confused, because when we talk about psychomotor, we are talking about things that like riding a bicycle, doing some tasks that hands-on. But in, for example, mathematics, psychomotor is doing solving formula is considered as psychomotor, something like that, you know. All right, so the course learning outcome should be for psychomotor, course learning outcome should be able to present something that is hands-on. All right, that lead to practical skills. All right, maybe you ask them to do something in the bengkel lab and so on. We have to demonstrate to you and so on. So that is the differentiation between domain cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. Why I am highlighting this before I show you table 4, because I think this is some of the problems that I found when I audit the table 4. All right, the lecturers, the academic staff, they won't be able to differentiate affective, cognitive, and psychomotor domain, whereby it is compulsory for a program to cover all the domain in the program. Okay. Tak ada code. Okay. All right. So, I'll just look at this slide. Right. So when you are going to curriculum, your program, okay, first thing that you need to know is students are the focus. Okay, whatever happens, students are the focus. Alright, fikir dulu tentang belajar, bukan fikir tentang curriculum. Alright, then we are thinking about the program learning outcomes, PLO. Alright, starting with a clear picture of what is important for students to be able to do. As if you can recall, I'm from the beginning of this slide, I was talking about what students be able to do. This is student competency. Alright, student first in mind, and then you have course outcome, which covers cognitive abilities, psychomotor domain. Alright, and then barulah, and you will think about the assessment, and then teaching and learning activities. So these iterate, okay, iterate between course learning outcome, assessment, teaching and learning activities. All right. So then we have to organize. We have to organize the curriculum, instruction, assessment to make sure learning ultimately happens. All right. So for ODL, remember, we can have online assessment. We can also have face-to-face assessment, not necessarily all online. As long as we cover the 80% online, all right, 80% online and 20% face-to-face, or if you have 100% online, no problem. 80% and above should be online. All right. What 80%? It is the SLT. All right. Student learning time should be 80% and above online for ODL. All right. Also, we are going to look at the teaching and learning activities. For example, flipped classroom, technology, we have projects, we have labs. Okay. If let's say you are going to use virtual labs, okay, or physics labs, okay, so you must state it in clearly your and then other learning experiences. So this is the whole program that you are going to develop, and please make sure that you are designing and developing what is important for students to be able to do. Okay, jangan shock sendiri, jangan rasa, sometimes because we have the program learning outcomes and then kita rasa student will be able to do this and that, but our assessment, our teaching learning activities does not cater the course learning outcomes. Alright. Okay, and then, okay, this particular whole iteration, okay, this is what we count as student learning time. Okay, so from this, whatever happens here, it will calculate to the student's learning time. Okay, you must remember 1 credit equal to berapa? Siapa boleh jawab soalan ni? Okay, berapa notional hour? Do you know what is notional hour? Anybody can answer in the chat box?
1 credit, 14 notional hours, equivalent to 40 SLT.
All right. So if we have 3 credits, then the SLT will be 120. If we have 4 credits, then the SLT will be 160. All right. So this is, do you know that, when I go audit, some of the lecturers, they don't know about this. All right. They don't know that they should have 120 credits, 20 hours of SLT for 3 credit hours. Okay, mungkin nampak macam kalau orang yang dah biasa duduk di jabat kualiti, dah biasa buat documentation and so on, this is satu perkara yang susah lah kan. However, some of our lecturers didn't know about this. All right, so this whole process will we combine into students' learning time. Okay, all right. So student learning time will the time for students spend for learning, teaching, and assessment activities. So it will be contact learning time, our teaching, our kuliah or our tutorial, the contact learning hours, okay, learning time, and then independent learning and preparation time and assessment time. All right, so this is what we are going to do in the table 4. All right. So what you need to do before preparing table 4 is to list out the teaching and learning activities or assessment, okay, by learning outcome based on BPK. In USM we call it BPK, barang penawaran khusus. So you need to list out what are the teaching and learning activities, so that you will know your assessment as well as to cater your learning outcomes. All right. So this is, I refer to USM assessment online guidelines that we do during last April, okay, during COVID-19, which is based on the good practice of assessment. All right. Okay, so this is one of the example from our okay, yeah, we have exam 40%. All right, so you can see here, this should be here the cost. All right, our BPK like this. All right, so this is the list that we need to prepare before we go to table 4, and then this is also this to the synopsis, the learning outcomes, and so on. All right, that we have in a course. Okay, so this will be transferred into the table 4. All right. Okay, let me just look at the chat box. Okay, question, if the course is 3 credit hour, okay, 3 CH credit hour lah kan, okay, 3 hours lecture and 1 hour lecture, what is the best SLT value to be considered? Usually when we have 3 credit hour, betul ke tu Dr. Azrul? 3 credit hour lecture and 1 hour lecture. Okay. All right. So usually when we have 3 credit hours, we are going to give the students 2 hour lecture only and 1 hour tutorial. Okay. If you are having 4 credit hour, then the advisable is 3 hours lecture and 1 hour tutorial. Okay, so because this is too much, because nanti bila kita kira when we count towards the independent learning, all right, if let's say this one will be 4 hours, yeah, 4 hours, 4 hours for independent learning will be also the same. And the independent learning, later on when I show the table 4, it will also 4 hours. And when you calculate our 14 weeks, it will be beyond 84 credit. Okay, 84 hours. Okay, so I think that it is advisable that you reduce the 3 hours lecture to only 2 hours lecture. Yeah, Dr. Azrul, so that you won't have so many kira SLT nanti you akan terlebih. Alright. Okay, then next question. Since kita ada PEO, PLO, MQA1 for program konvensional, adakah program untuk program ODL baru masih boleh guna PEO dan PLO yang sama? Ya, boleh. Boleh. tak ada masalah. Cuma mungkin macam semalam saya nyatakan when I mentioned earlier, in MQA 01 there is part whereby we need to clarify how this PEO, PLO will be addressed in ODL. Okay, so you might want to go to your, remember yesterday I said if you don't have an ODL policy of globalized learning, for example, then you need to revise a little bit. Okay, but usually you don't need to amend so much on your PEO. Okay, sebab walaupun dia belajar, if let's say they are learning online using ODL, the PEO will be the same. Okay, if they learn IT at the end of the after they graduated, okay, they will still be able to do the same thing as the conventional students do. So the PEO kita tak tukar lah. Okay, tak adalah pula dia nak membaiki just online and so on. Takkanlah PEO kita akan berubah menjadi the IT person will be able to do the IT work online only. Alright, so PEO tak akan berubah. PLO, program learning outcomes, at the end of the study, alright, before they graduate, okay, takkanlah kita nak kata they will be able to do presentation online. Okay, sama saja, they will be able to gain all the conventional PLO, but only the delivery of teaching and learning and assessment will be done online. Tetapi PEO and PLO, kalau tak perlu ubah, tak perlu ubahlah begitu. Alright, jadi kita akan ubah the way we teach only, the way we assess the students only. Alright, jadi boleh guna. Okay, and then dalam keadaan norma baru, adakah PLO yang ada sekarang masih terpakai? Ya, masih terpakai. Alright, meaning saya cakap tadi lah Dr. Zaki, PLO tidak berubah sebab whatever we would like to achieve at the end of the students when they graduate is still the same. Alright, dia tidak akan berubah menjadi online. Katakanlah you are teaching teachers, then mungkin adakah you nak cakap, okay, at the end when the students graduated, they will be able to teach online only. Okay, so sebenarnya the PLO should be the same. They will be able to go to school and teach. Okay, and then if let's say the COVID-19 na'udzubillah lah happen again, whatever condition, they meaning that they are going to teach a PJJ for example, they will be able to teach similarly as they teach online learners and conventional. So the PLO mungkin tidak berubah sama sekali pun. Alright, PEO tidak berubah, PLO tidak berubah, just the delivery. ODL is delivery. However, it will relate to the vision and mission of your higher education provider in terms of globalized learning. You melihat kepada pelajar beyond the normal teaching and learning delivery. Okay, alright, so this is the BP. Alright, so in MTF 2.0 competency, alright, is what we are going to look at. Alright, so we are going to look at cognitive, alright, affective, modified cognitive. We are okay, semua well-versed. Everybody is well-versed on blue cognitive domains, but sometimes they forget about Kraftwerk affective domain. Alright, and then sometimes they are forgetting about Simpson 1972. Alright, you can see that the lower order thing is here. Alright, so for example, remembering, understanding. Alright, effective, responding and receiving. Okay, so meaning that if you ask question to your students, can you elaborate whatever, then dia cakap, dia just mengangguk ataupun dia kata then there is lower order. All right. Then if they will be able to do this and this, it is higher order thinking skill. All right. Okay. And then, so how do we calculate the student learning time? Okay. So to calculate learning time credit, all right, we should include face-to-face. I think everybody knows this. Kena letak face-to-face, guided credit time. All right. So in table 4, okay, we have virtual or physical, what we call synchronous. Okay, synchronous ni boleh berlaku, it can happen via virtual and physical. Okay, for example, today's WebEx class, okay, it is considered as virtual synchronous meetings, all right? So it is face-to-face and it is guided learning. I am here with all of you. So it is guided learning time. I'm here to guide you all. Alright, so some of us bila dia jadi online dia semua dah pening. Okay, yang ni sebenarnya face to face ke tak? WebEx ni is face to face or not? Yes, it is face to face, but it is virtual face to face and it is considered as guided learning time. Alright, and then we will campur, we will add the student self-learning time, okay, which is asynchronous. Okay, asynchronous ni meaning that, you know, for example, this week you are going to do the WebEx session with your students. Next week you have prepared a video, you have prepared a scene, self-instructional material, for example. So what you do is, okay, you tell your student next week, okay, we are going to do a flipped classroom. Okay, but virtual, you know, not flipped classroom. Classroom tak jadi. Okay, I'm going to prepare a video to you and then I'm going to include an activity to you and then you have to do the assessment, all right, within the class hour or anytime that you are free, and this will be counted as your attendance. For example, then that is a synchronous learning that replaces the face-to-face physical guided learning. Okay, physical, not physical, virtual. Okay, so you can have asynchronous. Okay, plus you have informal, meaning that before class you tell them, okay, please read page this one, and then in class we are going to discuss about this. Then that is informal, all right? And then we have total assessment time. All right, so this is an example of a course, okay, in USM. All right, so the title is PGT 201E Instructional Technology Practices. Okay, this is the hasil pembelajaran, outcomes. All right, so it will cover 1, okay, constant domain learning model and so on. Okay, learning taxonomy is C3. Okay, and then develop and manage learning tools, and it will be PO8 and P3. Okay, learning taxonomy. So not necessarily all you need to include cognitive. Then if you do an exam, each of these particular CLO should be included in the exam question. All right, so this is application guided response value is for affective. This one is guided response for psychomotor. This is application for cognitive. All right, so if you do like this, it is much more clearer when you do table 4, and then you will know how to assess, to evaluate your students' learning. All right, so you go to the affective domain. Yeah, this one. All right. Okay, if you go to here, all right, you just include which one that you would like to. For example, just now, applying is C3. And evaluating response is P3. All right. So then this is okay. Then we have the application response and so on. Okay. So in this case, final exam 40%. All right. Sorry, this one when I give the talk on how to transfer your because we were transferring the exam work to password. Okay, so abaikan the essay this one. Okay. Okay, boleh sebab the essay is for the exam, sorry. And then the coursework 60%, we have task C3, all right? We have test C3. Okay, so this one will cover also the CLO1, all right? And then report is P3, and then presentation 10% is A3. So this one, all right? Not necessary. Sometimes what staff academic would rasa macam salah, alright, because they think that when it is CLO1, CLO2, CLO3, the CLO3 need to be much more hot. Okay, much more hot than the presentation 10%. Kalau assessment, it is not enough. So the CLO3 should be 20%. The CLO1 should be only 10%. Alright, so no need to do like that. Okay, it depends on this particular CLO. Alright, let me just have a look. Yeah, betul, Dr. Dennis. Alright, synchronous is live, asynchronous is delayed. If we give recorded lecture to our student, does it consider as asynchronous teaching and learning? Yes, but I don't advise you to give your recorded synchronous lecture, meaning that yang ni lah kan, macam hari ni I buat talk, I give talk like 2 hours. For example, we have our class for 2 hours. That is not advisable. That won't be asynchronous learning because you need to go back to the SLT. All right, so because there is another guide for blended learning whereby 10 minutes video equal to 1 SLT. Okay, saya terlupa pula nak share benda tu. But if you recorded video 10 minutes, it will be equal to 1 hour of SLT. Okay. So, when you like to do the asynchronous, jangan don't just record your synchronous live session for 2 hours and then you letak dekat you punya smart UMS and then you say I have been doing asynchronous. No, that is incorrect. You need to edit the video first. Why? Because during this live session, for example, okay, when I'm giving talk, and then I check the chat, right? So when I check the chat and so on, and I respond to your questions and so on, that is not me giving talk. I am discussing with you all, so that is not considered as lecture. So 1 hour of 10 minutes of video equal to 1 hour. 1 hour student time. Because we consider that when they watch the video, they might rewind, they might forward, and so on. Okay, so can we design a course with 100% continuous assessment and no final exam? Of course, the drama. Yes, we can. Okay, we can do a course without having an exam. You don't need to have an exam. We don't need to test students on cognitive if we don't need to see them using their cognitive ability. If let's say you want to test affective and psychomotor, why not? All right, not a problem at all. Okay. I think report is effective. Yes, it can be effective. Yes. Okay. PM Rosita. Presentation boleh jadi psychomotor? Yes, it can. Alright, it depends on the context of your course. Sometimes presentation can be a psychomotor if, let's say, you are teaching English. Alright, you are teaching something to do with languages. Alright, and then you would like them to present something based, or you would like them to, katalah mengajar sastra English, okay, English literature. Example, and you are going to do role play. All right, role play is some sort like presentation. You do a role play, or you are teaching law, for example. Okay, one become a magistrate, one become a lawyer, one become a whatever lah. Okay, then that will be psychomotor. So presentation can be considered as psychomotor as well, and then you can use presentation lah. All right, betul. Not only PM Rosita, not only because they operate the projector and so on. Sometimes dia tak operate pun, dia dah senang aja, dia just masuk. But the way they present, the way they have to do something can be considered as psychomotor. Alright, kalau kita buat role play, for example, present in a role play, meaning that kalau dia nak jadi magistrate, they will know the body language of a magistrate, for example, and then that is psychomotor. All right. Is assessment of report appropriate for psychomotor domain? Why not observation of the ability for hands-on? All right. Assessment of report. The report will be effective. Okay, effective, but let's say before they produce the report, they have to do something, then it is psychomotor. All right. Report is effective. Yes, the report is effective. The what they do before they produce the report can be psychomotor. Depends on what you ask them to do. Bolehkah kita mengukur domain psychomotor atau efektif pada peperiksaan akhir dan bukan domain kognitif? Biasanya kita akan lihat kognitif sahaja pada peperiksaan akhir sebab mereka kena berfikir. Alright, kena berfikir, dan walaupun contoh ya, if we have mathematics, alright, subject mathematics, alright, so in an exam, we are going to give them a question, all right, a question. Then they are going to do it alone, all right, during the exam. We were not there, we are not there, all right. Compared to mathematics, when they are doing hands-on, for assignment, for tutorial, for whatever that they present in class, for example, that can be considered as psychomotor sebab there are someone observing them doing that. Alright, kena fikir tu, kena ingat tu. Psychomotor biasanya kita access, kita evaluate while dia psychomotor, while kita as a teacher, as a lecturer observe what they do. Okay, macam tu. So dia dalam mathematics you can do both. Okay, cognitive and psychomotor, but remember cognitive, they have to think, all right, they have to think and they are doing it alone, all right. Okay. Dalam conventional table 4, dalam mengira student learning time, kita menggunakan formula yang dicadang, contohnya 1 jam kuliah, okay, bersamaan dengan 1 jam self student learning. Self student learning dikatakan dengan asynchronous. Okay, yang ni saya akan ceritakan sekali lagi ya. Alright. And then adakah bermakna dalam ODL independent learning tersebut perlu ada arahan yang jelas, informal dalam SIM yang menyatakan pelajar perlu membuat self-study. SIM sebenarnya adalah self-study ya. Okay, SIM adalah sebenarnya self-study. It is not guided learning. That's why it is under digabungkan dalam table dalam column asynchronous. Okay, ianya SIM adalah self-study. So meaning that it is not guided learning. Cikgunya tidak berada. We are not there with our students. So Synchro ataupun asynchronous, meaning that you don't prepare the scene in advance, but you are preparing some materials in your platform, e-learning platform or your ODL platform, then it can be considered as unguided learning. All right, the students are guided only from the materials, from the instruction, okay, from the instruction that you give to them in the platform. Okay, I hope you understand that. All right. And then where we can read about the difference between psychomotor and affective domains for PLO, boleh rujuk kepada dokumen tadi, group practices yang saya share tadi. Later on I'll give the link lah. Alright, the good practices of assessment. Okay, kat situ you can tengok dia punya differentiation between affective and affective, cognitive and psychomotor, ya, dalam good practices of assessment. Okay. Selain exam, quiz, individual assignment boleh dianggap kognitif. Biasanya kita lihat kepada kognitif in term of giving student test. Alright, when we give them test, it will if we give them quiz, for example, or test or final exam, we are looking at testing, okay, their cognitive skill, apa yang mereka ada. Okay, kalau individual assignment, alright, individual assignment, it is considered as effective. Okay. Alright, so okay, betul. Alright, so just go here. Okay. So this is from our BBK again. Alright, so we have this is the normal, the conventional, ya. Conventional, we have pembelajaran berpusatkan pelajar yang lain. Yang ni yang I nak highlight, ya. Sebab sometimes you are confused. Sometimes pembelajaran student-centered learning tidak bersemuka, pembelajaran terarahkan diri, okay, student-directed learning, okay. So yang ini akan masukkan dalam yang mana? Kalau dalam table 4 yang baru, which part of the table 4, I assume that you have seen the table 4 before, tak? Okay, yang ni nak letak di mana? Okay, so pembelajaran terarahkan diri semua akan letak di asynchronous. Okay, sebab it is unguided. Okay, so penilaian berterusan, ujian pemetaan persembahan dan sebagainya will be in assessment. Okay, this is contoh, alright. This contoh is so this is how we list out apa yang kita nak buat, right? So final exam 40% consists of essay. Jadi essay adalah 40%. So assessment time 2 hours. Alright, preparation hours 4 kali dan waktu assessment time. Alright, SLT 10 hours. And then the coursework like this. Tapi dalam table 4, okay, this is just our guide, alright, to fill in the table 4. Tetapi sebenarnya dalam table 4 ianya the recent table 4, it is much more easier. Okay, let me just, okay, so yang ini it goes back to the course lah. I will show you the latest. Consider this is the part, okay. Boleh ke CW boleh dilakukan contohnya quiz tadi, kognitif, alright, psychomotor, and then yang ni saya pula, alright. W 8 SLT, alright. Okay, so saya tak dapat nak pergi tunjuk the table 4, alright. Just let me just some example. Assessment is evidence of learning attainment. So we have direct and indirect. Okay, sebab yang ini yang tadi masalah bila you cakap, okay, kalau buat psychomotor, kalau domain dia psychomotor, boleh tak guna presentation. Alright, so some of the psychomotor is indirect. Okay, alright. Some of the direct, senanglah, the direct is really easy for us to see. Alright, assessment that demonstrate learning, can be observable. Alright, contohnya online oral examination, interview, viva, online presentation, final year and so on. We observe what students do and then we give marks. Alright, we might prepare rubric and for example, and then we can also do 360 assessment. Okay, yang ini for example for master students, for doctorate students, we can do the 360 assessment from the supervisor, from the lecturer, from the students and so on. Alright, so this is direct, and there are also indirect assessment, unobservable. Contohnya online quiz. Alright, okay. So and then project assignment, project report, pre-recorded video and so on. Alright, we don't know the to what length, okay, to what measures the student prepare their pre-recorded video, for example. Okay, we ask them to produce video, written assignment and so on. We cannot observe. That's why we cannot see the psychomotor part when we ask them to do a written assignment. Okay, or e-portfolio. Okay, you cannot see the process, but you can only see the end product. Okay. Okay, so this is from our USM assessment guideline. All right, this is some guidelines for the different assessment method. I think the assessment is quite hard for lecturers to prepare. Dia punya SLT. Sama-sama tak tahu, okay, kalau exam 2 jam cukup ke tidak kalau saya letak 5 jam. Alright, so this guide will help student. For example, berapa words? Sometimes for example, during this COVID-19 lah, alright, we are doing online exam, okay? So ataupun we are giving them some essay to replace the exam lah. Kalau di USM now, some of the courses we give them choice. All the courses lah, we give them choice. You can change from EW to CW. So berapa kalau the EW is 40%. So how many words, how many essay that the lecturer should give to the students. So we use this, all right? So for example, if the written assignment is 100 words, okay, so the SLT will be 5 hours. Project assignment, pre-recorded video podcast, okay, this is 1 hour, and then the hour of presenting. Okay, and then the preparation is 4 hours, then SLT is 5. Okay, and then online oral examination. Okay, they have to present viva voce and so on. So it's okay, and then preparation 3 hours, and then SLT 4 hours, and as such. Okay, so multiple choice question. Kalau soalan dia 1 hour, so preparation time 3 hours, and then preparation time for students, okay, and then SLT will be 4 hours. Okay, so this one real time dia or non-real time. Okay, so this SLT is student learning. Alright, so I think that most of you already downloaded your table 4 here. Okay, so just do that. Okay. So who are not familiar with the website, Google and then look for them. Alright, so for ODL and the document for ODL edition 2 I have prepared. I show you yesterday, right? And then table 4, the latest table, okay, July here. All right. When you download it, I have to table. Before that, what I will show you, this one. All right. We are going to look at the SLT for 3 credit. Okay, for example. So this is in the table 4. Okay, so later on I'll show the table 4, but I just would like, when you do the table 4, your table 4 or of a course in ODL program, okay, we are looking at, for example, the grand total SLT is 120. Sebenarnya this one is automatically created by the table 4 form. Okay, and then you can see here SLT for assessment automatically generated 36. All right, this is where we know our course is conventional or blended, okay, or blended, or it is ODL. So for ODL, the number B should be more than number B. The B section should be more than 80%. All right, should be more than 80%. SLT.
Dr. Zida,
Ya.
saya sebenarnya ada masalah ni Dr. Zida.
Ya.
Program saya, bila kita buat table 4 ni, bila kita tengok dekat indeks, semuanya dah jadi ODL. Tapi masa dia apply, conventional. Kalau saya nak share dia punya table 4 tu.
Later on. Okay, lepas saya cerita pasal ni, nanti PM Dr. Rosita tengok macam mana saya buat. Then you compare with your document and lepas tu boleh share. Kita tengok apa yang masalah di situ. Boleh?
Boleh.
Alright. Okay. So, if let's say we see the SLT for online and independent learning component is less than 93%, then it is less than 80%, then it is a blended learning. Okay. Except for component need to be more less than 20%. Okay, less than 20%. Yang ini yang saya akan highlight. I will highlight this during we do the table 4. All right. One more thing that I would like to highlight is this one. Okay. So this is important when we do the table 4 because we have this, the course content, subtopics, CLO. Okay, CLO ni nanti just you put week 1, week 3 match to CLO1. Alright, we have face-to-face, alright, physical, online or technology mediated. Okay, this is synchronous. And then we have non-face-to-face independent learning and it is called asynchronous. Most people selalu confuse this, terkeliru di sini. Alright, then this is the total SLT. So yang sangat penting dalam table 4 to make sure that whether your course will be 80%. Kalau ODL must be 80% and above SLT. The way you do this should be correct so that at the end you will have your credit hour correct and your SLT correct. Okay, this is the formula. Siapa yang nak ambil gambar dulu supaya nanti bila you all do your table 4, you will be able to use this particular formula and try. Okay, so this is a formula for assessment of SLT. selalunya usually when we use our Excel form, apa yang kita buat adalah kita letak assignment 20%. Okay, sebab yang ini I buat for ODL ya. So meaning that I have a presentation ODL, alright. Jadi tak ada physical, semua tak ada. Alright, quiz pun I do online. So 20% presentation setengah jam, an hour, 30 minutes, and then quiz we have 1 hour, 10%, and then article review. It is non face to face or not face to face, online lah maksudnya. Alright, so it is done dekat belakang sana, kemudian buat sendiri. Okay, so this is the formula that sebenarnya this is a simple Excel formula that will help you to kira nanti the SLT independent learning. Okay, so yang ini yang jadi masalah. Bila tiba-tiba kita tak lagi pula. Okay, your let me just 5 minit you can saya jawab soalan saya, bagi rehat dulu 5 minit. We are going to continue before minutes, so we will be here at 10:20. Alright.
Okay, doktor.
Okay, kita sambung ya. Alright. So this is we just see kalau ada question. Dr. Syarif, nanti saya jawab privately lah sebab you hantar saya. And then soalan daripada Dr. Rosli, cara tulis jika topik week 1 ada 2 CLO seperti CLO 1 dan CLO 2, boleh tak ditulis secara bersamaan week 1 CLO 1, week 1 CLO 2? Boleh. So this is our table 4. Ya, saya harap semua dah download. Alright. So namakan kos anda lah. Okay. Namakan kos anda. Namalah apa, saya buat teknologi komunikasi. Alright. Contoh. Dalam alright. Example. So the course code is PGT436E. Okay, letak course qualification. Ada drop down dekat sini, so you letak elective core ke whatever. Kalau MPU letaklah compulsory, kalau major letaklah major dan sebagainya, to have identify that. And kan synopsis, okay, this course, okay, letaklah apa. So synopsis boleh copy and paste di sini. Academic staff, alright. Alright. Semester, you're offered year 3. Semester 3. Okay. Ini di bawah ini. Uang supaya asal dia itu. You don't have to fill in credit that you the table 4, it will be automatically calculated by table 4. Alright. Yeah. And this would and the cost yang kedua the cost will be able what to put here CLO 1, CLO 2 dan CLO 3. So but ingatkan, you must your lecturer jangan main tak sahaja CLO. If let's say CLO and you'll be able to identify key skills sample and then somewhere something related to technology, connecting and back or ada lecturer ya, nak jumpa dia je. This will be constructively aligned, or the PLOs. Jangan 45 course tiba-tiba course lengkap. So that all the CLOs in your program PLOs. Alright. And then CLOs are going to cover the methods that are you going to use. Alright, and then for assessment methods, okay, how are you going to assess student attainment of the learning outcome using the assessment methods? So for example, your CLO1, C3, cognitive 3, applying, so work, apply apps, technology apps towards teaching, for example. Assessment methods will be so the exam question will be something like, okay, you teacher, suddenly COVID-19 appeared, and then please try to apply the technological skill that you have in certain environment. The questions in the exam should have apply in the question lah, directly or indirectly. Tak adalah, sometimes mungkin you tak apply, sometimes you need to put the apply. So that C3. Okay. This let's go back to the cognitive, so that identify the method, right? And F, cluster of learning outcomes. All right. This is similar to our conventional class, all right? Conventional program. Sorry. It is applicable. All right. Action where the lecturers lah always have a problem. He just on this. Okay. Okay. Subtopics. Right. Last week I found CLO because they have 3 CLO, 3 topics here. By the time one semester we have 14 weeks, so you need so okay. Jangan letak fix 20% skill, and then you are going to OT, and of course. Okay. CNO can
boleh saya mencelah, Prof? Boleh ya. Ini saya saja nak bagi just a suggestion or whatever, I do not know. But the topic, the course content outline and subtopic, sometimes we just put the topic, and to me that's not useful for the student, because previously we put the topic and then put the resources, which chapter, page, article online. And I would like to suggest I think it's good for us. We just, for example, in my subject, I put the classical realism, for example, and then I put the article of which book or article to be referred, page, whatever, because based on previously, before MQA, we put very, very detailed, that useful for the students. That in this case, just put the topic, I think it's nothing. Thank you.
So,
Yes, response.
Doctor, I think to put that here. Meaning page berapa, whatever, we just put the topic because that table 4 will not be given to the students. Alright, table 4 will not be given to the students. This is the panduan, the guidelines for lecturers and guidelines for the HEP. Jadi ianya tidak perlu lah page berapa, apa dan sebagainya, tetapi what we in kita adalah pengajaran, semester, instruction and planning for the semester. In there, we follow sebab table 4 the students. Jadi kita akan ada.
Kalau saya boleh mencerahkan, Doktor. Actually,
yeah.
di UMS pun we have the lesson plan. Dan memang I agree with you, everything yang the detail tu macam topik, what is the subtopic, what is the resources, what is the assessment, apa aktiviti kita buat di situ adalah di dalam lesson plan. So that one I agree with you lah. The detail one must be in the lesson plan. This one is only course information kan?
For our administration part. Jadi kita letaklah kalau for example for my first lesson, then I put IoT, Internet of Things in education, then I have some small subtopics that I would like to put in IoT and so on. Boleh letak, but not that particular detail yang letak page berapa, apa resources, sebab di bawah sini we have detail we pencerahan dia tak bagi tau pada students, which is saya rasa salah. The students should be able to have the lesson so that they will know what they are going to learn throughout the semester, what assessment they are going to encounter, and then whatever lah activity page, whatever. Kalau you nak buat sedetail mana dalam lesson plan, is up to you. Tapi dalam dokumen ni minimumkan the content, tajuk, topik, continue. Actually, topik is here to have satu because so that it will be related to yellow first, yellow 2 kedua, then like yellow 3 also. Kalau you tengok
I'm sorry, Prof. Prof, sorry. You are breaking up, Prof.
Kan? Okay, saya off set the video. Hopefully it will not be breaking. Dengar tak?
Okay, Prof.
Alright. Sometimes dia dah mulailah tu, dia nak start breaking. Alright. Kemudian, alright. So then terpulang ya. So either you nak susun the week ikut according to CLO, or you might want to have the CLO 3 dekat atas, whatever. it should be okay. Not a problem as long as the topic memang nak cover CLO 3. Tak semestinya you arrange CLO 1 sampai CLO 3. You can match. Okay, it is matching the topics with the CLO. Tak salah kalau CLO 2 berada di sini. Okay, tak jadi masalah lah as long as semuanya match CLO dengan the topics. Alright. Okay, Dr. Rosli, is it possible ditulis seperti ini, week 1 CLO 1 dan 2, salah ke? Tak salah. Mungkin you boleh cover 2 CLO dalam satu topik. Okay, tetapi sebaiknya kalau you tulis tu mungkin you akan cover satu CLO saja. Mungkin you tak cover kedua-dua je dalam satu minggu, tetapi kalau terjadi sedemikian ianya tidak salah. Okay, ianya tidak salah ya Dr. Rosli. Tapi sebaiknya kalau untuk satu minggu saja, why not kita fokus on satu CLO, tetapi mungkin we are looking at the major CLO yang you akan address in that particular week. Major CLO saja. Senang nak tulis dekat sini sebenarnya. Alright. And then, okay, CLO, we go to here. Yang ini yang menjadi masalah. Alright, yang ni yang selalu jadi masalah. Yang macam PM Rosita tadi cakap, buat tiba-tiba kelas konvensional, tiba-tiba jadi ODL. Alright, kenapa? Alright, so this is learning and teaching activities. You have face-to-face, physical, and then you have face-to-face online or technology mediated. Okay, jadi kalau apabila anda, okay, your course is physical face-to-face conventional, don't touch this one unless you are doing blended. Alright, so unless you are doing blended, baru you letak sini. Kalau you are fully conventional, then this is the one that you need to put. Jangan letak yang sini. Okay. Alright. So physicals mean L is lecture. Okay. Kalau you have a conventional class, biasanya you akan letak sini. Saya padam. Okay. If you have a conventional class, you will have 2 hours. Yang ini saya kira sebagai 3 kredit ya, for example. So lecture 2 hours, tutorial 1 hour. Okay, then when we have three hours of guided, okay, face to face, then the independent will be 3 hours as well. Apa maksud non face to face independent learning? Meaning that what they do alone dekat bilik mereka, dekat bilik hostel ke, dekat rumah mereka ke, so it should be equal to the physical. So kalau 3 jam untuk guided learning, 3 jam jugalah yang non-guided learning akan berlaku. Alright. I hope that
sikit doktor. Nak tanya tentang tutorial. Let's say we have 100 students. The tutorial we have to divide it into 3 group. How many numbers minimum and maximum?
Tak payah.
Yeah.
Payah. Tak perlu. So meaning that dalam ini you are considered one student. For one student ya. Okay, maksudnya you have 2 hours of student learning. Dia kena duduk dekat dalam lecture. Seorang student, they need to sit on a lecture for 2 hours. That is their learning time. Okay, jadi kita tak payah divide lah kalau kita ada 10 orang student.
My question to tutorial group.
Tutorial sama jugalah. Maksudnya they have to sit in that particular tutorial class for 1 hour. Yang ini kita kira 120 credits ni. 130 hours SLT ni untuk seorang student.
So tutorial also the same number student. Yeah. Tak perlu pecah-pecah.
It is not your time. It is their time. Meaning that kalau saya masuk kelas doktor, let's say, okay, saya akan duduk di kelas tutorial doktor for 1 hour. Okay, jadi kalau doktor ada 100 students and you have for example 3 groups, for example, itu tak kira dekat sini. It is not your time, it is the student's time. she or he will sit in your lecture for 2 hours, duduk dengan kuliah. Then they will attend the tutorial class for 1 hour. And then yang ini 3 hours adalah dia independent learning for this particular topic. Yang dia duduk, okay, sebelum kelas I rasa I nak study IoT. Nak tengok dululah what is IoT. So saya pergi dan saya belajar, saya selak-selak the whatever notes that you have put in the online in your platform. So this equal to dia sebelum dia masuk kelas atau sebelum dia masuk tutorial, plus after the class they would like to do some whatever lah independent study yang dia duduk seorang-seorang yang dia buat. So the total physical or online guided learning will be same as the non face-to-face independent learning. Okay, saya harap that is clear.
Not so clear. For example, I have 100 students and then I give her 2 hours lecture and then 1 hour tutorial. Is okay?
Yes.
Okay.
As long as you cater the individual kan, maksudnya ke student tu 2 jam dia duduk dalam lecture, okay lah.
So my question is because the number of student 100, is it compulsory we have to divide into 3 group because more effective in the tutorial? No need.
No need. The hour here is for the students, for individual student.
Okay, thank you.
For individual student. Jadi maksudnya the 120 hour itu adalah bilangan dia belajar dalam satu semester for this course. Okay, 120 jam. Dia belajar untuk this course for him or her to be able to dapat A ke B ke C after the examination, after the kita pergi mesyuarat majlis peperiksaan, dia dah go through the 120 hour of dia punya SLT. Okay, tak kira lah dalam group mana dia berada dalam tutorial pun should be the same. Alright?
But in reality, we give a 2 hours lecture, that's a lecture, and then based my experience when I did my degree and masters, we have to divide into small group to be more effective. We to analyze all the topic in the lecture. So
that is tutorial kan?
Yeah, tutorial.
Jadi when the students okay, but the students dia pergi lecture, dia hadir tutorial, okay, walaupun tajuk dia berlainan, mungkin minggu ni tajuk dia berlainan tapi dia kena go through all the tajuk for that particular class punya tutorial kan. Jadi setiap tutorial dia akan hadir sejam, walaupun mungkin minggu ini tutorial dia tajuk dia lain dengan kawan dia, tapi minggu depan dia akan encounter mungkin kawan dia punya topik lah, for example. Then should be okay lah, as long as dia punya pembelajaran 120 hours should be okay. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Alright. Soalan.
Doktor, boleh tanya satu soalan?
So
macam keadaan sekarang kan yang kita buat blended learning ni because of the pandemic ni. So kita tidak ada physical, tapi kita tidak juga buat synchronous, kita buat asynchronous saja. So we put that one.
Okay,
so kita rekam video, kita letak dalam kita punya smart LMS like that kan?
Yes.
So that one is asynchronous kan? So how do we in the table 4?
So, saya tadi ada someone comment asking me to speak in English. Alright, okay. So, sorry because the question was in Malay. However, I try to address in English. Okay. So, if we are talking about blended learning, the asynchronous will be here. Okay, because it is independent learning. Yeah, doctor. So, it is independent learning. Whatever during your blended learning, meaning that now you are recording, you don't do the synchronous face-to-face, what we call guided learning. Guided learning can be both. It can be face-to-face physical, okay, meaning that you go to your lecture and then you go to your tutorial, all right, that is guided learning physical, okay, it is within the 4 walls, okay. The face-to-face online or technology mediated synchronous, meaning that you are still meeting with your students. For example, if you have 2-hour lectures, you are going to do the WebEx for 2 hours. right? And then after that, you might have 1 hour lecture. All right. So, and you are there to guide your students. It might not be lecture. For example, you are not going to do lecture, but you are going to do others, meaning that during that class for 2 hours, you are going to do activities with your students. You are going to ask them to present, all right, whatever. So it is others. O is for others. But you will be with your student for 2 hours. Then it will be synchronous. Either you are using WebEx, either you are using Google Meet, either you are using Microsoft Teams, Zoom. Okay, it is considered as synchronous. Okay, however, let's say you record your video. Okay, meaning that for next week you have class, but you are not planning to meet your students at 9 a.m. on Monday. You are not planning to do that, but you are going to give instruction. Okay, next Monday, for next Monday's class, I'm going to prepare a video, a short video. Please, okay, the instruction is important. Please watch the video that I put is my UMS, and then after you have watched the video, please do an activity, and then answer the questions or please do the quiz. All right. So you must finish this within 2 hours. Okay. So that will be independent learning. So that's why SIM, self-instructional material, is important. In self-instructional material, you are going to include instruction for your student. Okay, notes for your students, assessment for your student, activity for your student, which will cover the 2 hours. Okay. Jadi, for example, in week 2, you are not going to do this. Okay, week 3, for example, yeah. This one, you can see here, week 3, I put 6 for asynchronous learning, meaning that I don't have a physical meeting, I don't have a physical lecture, I'm not having a physical tutorial. No, I'm not going to have an online lecture via WebEx. Okay, tak ada. And I'm not going to do tutorial via WebEx. I'm not going to have a practical, a virtual lab via whatever, okay, via WebEx as well. And then others, all blank here under face-to-face, either physical or online. So in here, you will see that I put it as 6. So this is to answer the question just now, meaning that if you are doing blended learning in your conventional and you are doing a synchronous teaching and learning, so you should put 6 here, meaning that all the 6 hours of students learning will be done independently by the students.
So the 6 hours, we will calculate using the blended formula, which is one article you have equivalent to how many hours, then 1 hour recording is equivalent to how many hours SLT, is it? Like that?
Yeah, betul. Yes,
so
correct.
We don't have to, because if we use the conventional, we have to, for example, we have the physical or we have the synchronous plus the independent learning. But if we do synchronous asynchronous, then meanings we only we assume that all part is done by student, so we don't have to plus again the independent learning, is it?
Yes, correct.
Using the formula of the blended learning, right?
Yes, correct. Meaning that you have 10 minutes video equal to 1 hour SLT. So in your smart UMS, you are going to put 10 minutes video that equal to 1 hour of SLT. All right. So you have covered 1 hour SLT there lah. Then you have one activity, for example, online discussion. Then 10 minutes online discussion will equal to 1 hour SLT. Then you have assessment, samalah macam tu. So meaning that 10 minutes, lebih kurang ya. Yeah. Then you will have 3 hours of unguided learning, then the other 3 hours will be their independent learning. So you must match that with the blended learning guidelines pula. Kalau you guna untuk unguided asynchronous ni.
Okay, thank you, Doctor.
Alright. Okay. Then bagi kursus yang ada kuliah 2 jam dan amali 3 jam setiap minggu, bagaimanakah pengiraan non-face to face? Adakah jumlahnya sama dengan 5 jam? Alright, Dr. Azhar, you have your lecture for 2 hours and then you have your practical 3 hours. So what is the credit hour for your students? Okay. What is the credit hour for your course? For example, I just give an example here. Okay, you will have Dr. Azhar will have lecture 2 hours there. Okay. Okay, ataupun he will have 2 hours of lecture and then he will have P is practical, 3 hours of practical. Okay, so meaning that for that particular week, okay, you will have 5 hours. Okay, when you have 5 hours here, the independent learning might be 10 hours, tetapi you must also consider the practical might not, okay, be what we call it, students will not be able to do independent learning for that particular practical. Okay, meaning that you have the lecture 2 hours. This one you have 1 hour dah extra, 2 plus 1, right? You have 2 plus 1 here. So usually we are going to put 1 here, all right, for the tutorial, for example. However, for Dr. Azhar's one, you will have 3 hours of practical. So you can look at this for the non-face-to-face. Kalau, 3, okay. So for non-face-to-face, you are going to have supposedly 10 hours. However, you must consider the practicality. So under that particular topic, the practical,
it's 11 o'clock.
The students will the students do the independent learning at home? Okay, consider that. All right. So meaning that it can still be 3. Okay. Okay. Or it can be 2 here. Okay, you can adjust that because you need to clear yourself about your course. All right, meaning that if let's say you put 3 practical here, will the practicality be covered in the independent learning? Kalau if let's say it is not covered in the independent learning, so you don't have to put the independent learning here. Okay, maybe the independent learning only cover this one. Okay, faham tak? So you can adjust here, ya, sebab the practical might not have independent learning for students at home. Okay, it is only guided learning because you are in the lab or in your workshop, for example, then it doesn't occur independent learning in your particular course. So it might be only 2 here or so nanti, all right. So like if let's say it becomes like this, maybe you can see that here it becomes 84. Dia dah jadi lebih. All right. So you must try to match, ya. Sebab sometimes, we know that some of the course is quite different. You have more practical and then, or maybe if let's say you have practical here, which is 3 hours, and then you have the lecture 2 hours, all right, maybe you don't have, you can put it here, something like this lah. Mungkin you can avoid sebab you must make sure that the student learning time does not exceed, okay, 84 here. Okay.
Boleh tanya? Jadi
Boleh.
ni kita tak payah nak guna macam PTD yang 40-40-20 tu kan?
No, for ODL we don't do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright. Alright, let me see here. If we conducted both online teaching and what if we conducted both online teaching and recorded video? Okay, so let's say if you have a recorded teaching, you have recorded video and you have online teaching. So you must adjust here. Okay, for example, you have physical online teaching and asynchronous. Yeah? So let's say I adjust yang ni one, this one. In week 6, you are going to have an online lecture, 2 hours. Okay, so you are going to meet your students. Okay, and then you are going to record video for your student for extra whatever lah ataupun whatever you for your whatever purpose. So you can add here 4. Alright, meaning that there is a combination of this one, a 2 hours lecture via WebEx, and then you don't have the tutorial or practical for others here that you are guiding the students synchronously. Then you can add 1 hour here. That is the asynchronous that you prepare video. But remember, it is 10-minute videos lah for your student macam tu. So you can actually play with the time, okay, according to your own teaching and learning methods. Okay, it is not strictly okay. Every course must have lecture, must have tutorial. No. Okay. Okay, jadi it is up to your design. That's why in the beginning of this session just now I mentioned about the constructive alignment from your course learning outcomes towards the assessment, towards the teaching and learning activity, because you are going to do this. All right, sometimes people just put, okay, we have, kalau if you know in the real world, sometimes the real situation, sometimes you can see the lecturers in your institution, they just put, okay, to one, dia tak fikir pun, they don't think about whether they have practical. Oh, mungkin practical is obvious, okay, I put practical here. But when the others, they are afraid of to put the others, maybe they have discussion with their student, they don't have actually the kuliah, the lecture, so you can put 2 hours here. It is not wrong as long as your CLO can be achieved through that particular methods. Alright, okay, 100% online kan? The Prof PM Rosita, the Azidah, can we do 100% online synchronous and asynchronous, but we do physical assessment? Yes, can, meaning that you do all this, you don't have physical at all. For ODL, yeah? Delete this, delete this, delete this.
Untuk ODL.
Untuk ODL. Okay, so no, nothing here in the physical part, no others. Alright, just put it like this. Okay, so semua kosong di sini. Then you adjust the teaching and learning face-to-face to be 100%, meaning that here you have 3, maybe you have others, you have discussion, okay, you have 1 practical, okay, and then you just adjust lah, macam tu saja. Then when you have study, saya betulkan my ni supaya it is easier. Nanti saat lagi kita nak calculate we are going to calculate the SLT for assessment. It is a bit tricky. Okay, so we have 1 here. Okay, so this will be 3. Okay, okay, step. This is 2. Okay. Alright, kita tengok. Then we put 1 and 2. We put apa-apa sajalah ya. Just make sure that we have the exact student learning time for teaching and learning. Alright, tengok we have dah terlebih dah ni. Let me just this one, this is 3, this is 3. Okay, 93. Jadi saya kena delete sikit. Okay, yang ni I just put ya. It is not correct. Just I would like this one to be this one or this one. But right, this is one. Itu. So mana yang lagi kita cukup? Itu. So just put this. Itu. Okay, yang ini, this is not correct, yes? Oh ya, patutlah. Okay, katalah macam ni. Alright. Then we have 84. Alright. Dr. Dennis was asking what is the minimum percentage of asynchronous learning time for ODL courses. You can do 100% asynchronous, you can do 100% synchronous, it is up to your design. As long it is, you know, if let's say you say that your course don't need a synchronous, but I think, you know, you should have a bit of synchronous so that, you know, the sense of belonging to a person. You are not doing a MOOC whereby, you know, your students don't have to see the lecturers and so on. But basically, you can do 100% asynchronous. You can also do 100% synchronous, or you can combine both. It is okay. All right. So meaning that it's up to you lah, yeah, Dr. Dennis. Okay. So I think it's clear in terms of this part. Okay. Remember the asynchronous learning that you prepare video and you prepare activities, you prepare whatever which is non-guided will be here. Okay, jadi jangan, please don't be confused that, you know, you need to put the asynchronous somewhere here, you have prepared video and so on. No, it should be here. That's why sometimes you have 6 here because, for example, 6 here because you are going to do all synchronous. Okay, right. 6. One. Saja ya, this one. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Okay, another question. If one course will be implementing 2 types of methods, example semester 1 this year, this course will be in ODL method, whereas on semester 1 next year in PTG. So are you suggesting this course have to performa according to semester? Okay, I don't understand this, Sherry. Meaning that the one that I'm mentioning today, I'm doing today is only for ODL. Okay, meaning that whatever you put in the table 4, for a course will be done throughout the program. Unless you change the table 4, then when you change, meaning that you change the activity and so on, then it will be changed lah. However, if let's say you would like to do blended and online, okay, so it should be in different, satu penawaran konvensional, okay, the first one will be in the conventional methods and the other one will be under ODL. Okay, forget about we in the pandemic situation. Assume that we are in the normal situation whereby we offer 2 programs, one is conventional, one is ODL. Whatever you put in the ODL version should be implemented for ODL program and you should follow that. All right. And for conventional or blended, it should be within the conventional. Macam tu. All right. You cannot like this semester I'm going to do ODL, the next semester I'm going to do blended. No, you cannot do that. All right.
Alright, thank you, Dr. Azidah. Yes.
Okay.
Sebab saya terfikir ODN ni more on the online 100% punya pembelajaran kan. So kalau kita tukar and then tiba-tiba dah tak ada COVID and then we want to go back to you see
Okay,
that
that's
kind
why
of
I think about the COVID. I think, you know,
Yes.
for this particular situation lah, at the moment, it is a special condition, so it is okay lah for this semester you are doing it online and next semester you are going to do it blended. But however, at the moment that this particular program, the program that you are doing now is a conventional one. We just do it as ODL because of the COVID-19. Okay.
Okay,
So
thank you.
no worries about that. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So I think it is clear for teaching and learning part here. All right. Okay. So now I'm going to go to okay. So I have 84 SLT for the 3 credit yang I assume that it is a 3 credit lah. Maksudnya kita we have decided, the course coordinator and the lecturers have decided that this course is 3-hour credit. So the total SLT for teaching and learning will be 84. All right. So this one you just adjust according to your preferences or the need of your CLO. Okay. So let's say in my course, okay. In my course, I have one assignment, all right. Okay, for course assessment. I have course assessment is 100% juga lah, all right. This is okay. So meaning that I have assignment 20%. Okay, this is continuous assessment. So I have assessment 20%. I have presentation 20%. All right. I have article review 10%. All right. I have quiz 10%. So I am going to do all the continuous assessment using synchronous technology mediated synchronous online synchronous methods. Okay, for example, my students will present whatever lah, I give them to do presentation for half an hour. The time for them to present per person will be 30 minutes. Okay, and then I have a quiz, maybe 2 quizzes. Okay, 2 quizzes, but it is 1 quiz 30 minutes, so for 2 quizzes it will be 1 hour. Okay, all right. So I have no physical face-to-face assessment. Okay, so this will be empty lah, don't put anything unless you are going to put the presentation, physical presentation. Katalah, you know, you would like them to do the presentation in a normal class in within a 4 walls, then you put 0.5. Okay, then okay, remember ya, 0.5 for individual student. Tak kira lah kalau you ambil masa, you take time like 5 hours for the students, you have to stay in a you know, to do the presentation, to wait for the students to present for 5 hours. It doesn't count, it count the 30 minutes for each student. Okay. All right. So then, okay, you can see that if I put 0.5 here, I put 1 here, then the total SLT is 1.5 for assessment. So preparation for presentation. Okay, let's say you have to present 0.5 hours, 30 minutes. So how do we count the non-face-to-face, meaning that they prepare the PowerPoint presentation, they prepare the, you know, bercakap, they talk, they speak in front of the mirror, for example, you know, to pronounce and so on. So this is non-face-to-face independent learning. Maksudnya, if let's say they are speaking, they need to do something. They are presenting, they need to do something to prepare for the presentation. So this is the non-face-to-face independent learning, which is now it is empty. And what is the formula? Okay, if let's say biasanya, usually lecturer they just okay they will estimate, okay, if 30 minutes presentation, maybe we need 3 hours for example, okay, 3 hours to prepare. Mungkinlah kan this is our agak-agak. So the best thing to do is, alright, so for example, you have a presentation, physical 0.5, and then you don't have synchronous. So what you do is you use this formula, okay? Formula ni kena hafal. You need to memorize this formula to help you. Tapi I have include it here. Alright, okay, so it is actually an Excel formula. Alright, so what you can do is you just type the formula here. So use the sama dengan, okay, equal to, alright, so bracket. So the percentage of the presentation will be 20%. So put it the percentage 20 out of 100, okay, then close the bracket and then you times, all right, times, that is the in Excel that is equal to times, the star, small star is equal to times, okay, if you are not well versed in Excel. Then another bracket, all right, so you can see that we have this is the percentage, okay, pula tiba-tiba lost, alright, and then okay, the credit hour for the 3 credit hour course is 100 SLT lah kan, okay, we need to have 1 hour 120 hour of SLT, alright, so this is the total SLT. We minus the SLT that for teaching and learning, which is 84. Then close the bracket, all right. Then we have 0.5, alamak dah terkira pula, 0.5 physical they have to present. So we have to go back and then we add minus 0.5. Okay, then it is the non-face-to-face independent learning for assessment will be 6.7. So you don't have to estimate. This is the exact time that they need for their own preparation for this presentation, 6.7 hours. All right. Similar to assignment, okay, for example, assignment, we don't have a physical meeting to do the assignment, and then we don't have physical online meetings for doing the assignment, so we don't have to fill in this, but we are going to fill the independent learning to prepare the assignment before they submit the assignment. So use the same formula again, okay, equal to bracket, it is 20 out of 100, then times bracket 120, okay, the total SLT for this course minus the 84, okay. So we don't have the minus outside here because this is empty. All right, then we just enter. Then it is 7.2. All right. Then I have article review. For example, it is 10%. So the calculation is similar. All right, sama saja. Okay, you just go to this particular part for independent learning, for preparation or for doing the article review independently at home or at hostel and so on, right? What you can do is do the formula again. So this formula can be memorized. It is easy. So you just go there, all right? And then it is 10%. So 10 out of 100, close the bracket, and then times another bracket, 120 minus 84, then you will get the times. 3.6 hours to prepare the article review for the students. All right, then we have a quiz. Okay, remember the quiz it has 1 hour. Okay, 1 hour of they have to do the quiz online. Okay, in the platform, for example. So what we can do is go click here and then do the same formula. Okay, equal to it is 10% out of 100. Okay, and then times bracket, and then 120 minus 84. All right, and then we have 1 hour here. Remember, so go back here, minus 1 hour. Okay, so then you will get 2.6 hours of preparation for the quiz. Okay, so now we have total SLT for the continuous assessment is 21.6. All right. Okay, so similar to final exam. All right, so similar to final exam. Okay, so you have, for example, 40% for final exam. So they are going to see, for example, like PM Rosita just now, she's going to do an face-to-face exam in a hall, for example. So it will be 2 hours. Okay, so you don't have to fill in here. And then, all right, same as just now. Okay, buat balik, equal, okay, 40% because the exam is 40%, betul, 40% out of 100, and then you times bracket 120 minus 84. All right, then you minus the physical 2 hours. Okay, 2. So it will be 12. Tadi saya kira silap. So 12.4 hours of preparation for 2-hour physical exam. All right, so then you will have total SLT for the exam will be 14.4. All right, so this is the total SLT. Dr. Zahir bertanya 84 represent the SLT for teaching and learning here. Okay, so yang ini we have calculate just now. Alright, how many hours for online learning, physical and so on. So it equal to 84. Alright, so then 120 is the total SLT for 3 credit hour course. Okay, and then how do you determine the weightage for each assessment? Is it based on SLT time for each CLO? Alright, the weightage for the assessment is for you to decide. Alright, meaning that based on the CLO, okay. For example, the CLO require you have a cognitive CLO. Back to my first the earlier presentation. All right, you are going to look at the CLO, then you will decide the assessment. Okay, then the weightage of the assessment is based on this. Sorry, can you please mute your mic? Dr. Kim, can you please mute your mic? All right, so meaning that you are going to determine the weightage for your assessment. All right. Okay. So
Azidah,
yeah.
okay, in UMS actually we determine the weightage.
Tak dengar lah.
Sorry, okay, Dr. Azidah, sorry.
Ah.
Okay, in UMS actually we determine the weightage of the assessment is based on the time spent on that CLO. So that's why one of the lecturer asked either based on the SLT.
Okay.
So for example, for CLO 1, we spend 80% of delivery on that CLO 1 only. So meaning the assessment of the CLO 1 must be 80%. So, but maybe it's break up into 4, for example, assignment. So, but the combination of the CLO 1 must be 80%. So that's why I think the lecturer asked.
Okay, thank you for the information. All right, thank you. So, Dr. Saizal, if we have both ODL and conventional program that are identical and run concurrently, does the assessment need be the same in terms of type assessment, delivery method, and marking distribution? Okay, for the type of assessment, if it is totally the same, just different between the conventional and ODL, so the type of assessment should be the same lah, because the CLO will be the same, the marking distribution should be the same, just the delivery method will be different. So maybe the conventional one will be face-to-face or face-to-face physical assignment or whatever lah, atau presentation will be physical, but online will be the ODL will be online. So the difference between the is on the delivery itself only. Okay, so because usually we have the conventional and the ODL, the ODL replicate the conventional. Okay, so it should be the same lah kalau you replicate that particular program. And then Dr. Mawani, what is the minimum number for teaching and learning SLT? All right, the actually for 100 credit hour, it is advisable that you have 2 + 1 or 111, meaning that 3 hours of guided learning and 2 hours for unguided learning, ataupun meaning that 6 hours per topic lah. Okay, so meaning that it should be 84. All right, you don't put the assessment more than, meaning that you don't do the assessment more than the teaching. Okay, because you need to do the teaching first. After that, or between that, okay, in the progress, you are going to do assessment. So we would like to advise that for 3 credit hour, the total SLT for teaching and learning will be 84. Okay, so tak ada minimum lah. Okay, it is advisable for 84 hours. Dr. Zahir, so it is percentage of marks kali total credit minus SLT allocation tolak. Yes, betul. This formula is what Dr. Zahir write down in the chat box. Yes, betul. This one, the formula, okay, is equal to the SLT, the independent learning SLT. Okay, saya malas nak baca the description, so ini betul lah whatever you have described that. Okay, Dr. Suzy Lawati, doktor, kita ada 14 minggu pertemuan dengan pelajar dalam satu semester. Adakah test presentation itu kita buat dalam minggu tersebut atau di luar minggu pertemuan? Alright. Test presentation should be done actually editorial design sebenarnya saya tak boleh nak cakap within that particular week or outside the 14 weeks, alright? Yeah, it doesn't matter sebenarnya, alright? It doesn't matter whether you do within the 14 weeks or after the 14 weeks, alright? Should be okay pada mana pun sebab however kena tengoklah pula jangan mengganggu student punya study week and so on lah, but it is up to you, okay? As long as you cover the CLO, meaning that your CLO is about the presentation. The presentation covers the CLO too. For example, that if you would like to do the presentation within the week and the CLO2 is in the middle of your weekly week 1 until week 7, then the presentation can be done within that particular 14 weeks. However, if you know until week 14, you still have, you know, the week 14 will cover that CLO that will be assessed by presentation. Maka, so you have to do the presentation outside the week 14 lah, sedemikian. Okay, so it's up to you. Okay. No minimum or maximum SLT for teaching. Must be 84. 84. It is advisable for 84 for 3 credits. Alright, for 3 credits. For jadi you kena buat pengiraan lah kalau if let's say your course is 4 credits, then you will have 2 and then 8 here. Alright, so yeah. Okay, so Dr. Sharifah, what you can do, you have 4 credit. So if let's say you have 2 lectures, alright, 2 lectures, and then you have 2 tutorials, so it is 4 hours, then your independent learning should be berapa? 4 as well. Okay, so the total for 1 week should be 8 hours. Alright. So kira lah, then it will become 112 here. Okay, for teaching and learning. So you need to put it, you know, design this to make sure that it is 112 for 4 credits. Okay. Alright, and then apa lagi soalan? Does it apply for the total SLT? Cannot make be more or less. Yeah, we advise you all to be exactly 120. Last time, okay, before we have this table 4, the latest version of the table 4, you know, we found that some courses have SLT more than 140 for 3 credit hours. They letak, they only put, you know, according to their assumption and their estimation. Okay, we don't want the student to be heavy in terms of SLT. So it is advisable when you design your program, make sure that for 3 credit hours, 3 credit course, it is 120 SLT. Okay. Cannot be more. 121, when we audit, we say, please change it to 120. All right. Why do you want the 1 extra hour? Okay, so please. Yes. Okay, meaning that what are the SRT for the topic? So for the topics, meaning that one topic will be around 8 hours, yeah, 8 hours of SLT. Including if let's say you have here lecture but you have 1 tutorial only, then this one should be 5. Okay, so you need to adjust that in the table 4. All right. Okay, so I think that is important in the table 4 because the SLT will PM Rosita 8 hours per week for 4 credits. Okay, betul lah ni. Kalau 4 credit, it will be like you can adjust. Okay, if let's say you don't have the synchronous learning, you don't have the synchronous tutorial, then this should be 8 hours independent learning if you have asynchronous class for a 4 credit course. Okay, so I think then you can see that. Okay, sekejap. Saya kena betulkan sikit sebab saya nak tunjuk. I must just like this and then 3 so that I'm going to have this 85. Yang saya terlebih 21. Just. Okay, I have 84 here. All right. When you have done your SLT, all right, you must check. I have the continuous assessment 21.6. I have the final exam 14.4. The total SLT for assessment is 36. All right. Then it is correct lah. Okay, and then the grand total of SLT is 120. Okay, jadi you can see that this is an ODL program. So the SLT for face-to-face physical, okay, physical component is 2.08 hours only. So then the percent SLT for online plus independent learning component is 97.92. So my course, this particular course is an ODL course. Okay, so if let's say you put it here, you put physical and so on, but you want to do, you still want to do an ODL, okay, if let's say you have put more on physical face-to-face and suddenly this part becomes like 12.8, not 12, 22.8, then this become less, so you need to adjust the teaching and learning time. Okay, so to make sure that your cost total SLT for online is more than 80%. All right, and then percent SLT for all practical component is 7.5. Okay, so and then percent SLT for physical practical component tak ada. Okay, and then this is automatically generated from what we have include here. All right, so this is important. Let's say you are doing a conventional table 4, so meaning that you must make sure that the SLT for physical component need to be more than 80%. Okay, terbalik ya. Okay, so the SLT for online learning need to be less than 20%. Also, this can be considered as blended learning juga lah. Alright, so if you're doing blended learning, please make sure that your online teaching is no more than 80%. Okay, yang itu pula, itu blended learning is something else, meaning that you have to arrange so that you have online and physical, and your online need to be more than 30%. Yang itu cerita lain, alright? But this is for ODL only. Okay, I hope it is clear. Alright, so I think this one is, you know, this is something that is normal. Okay, I forgot to mention, when you have this clearly done, you can see that the green part here, okay, yang tadi I asked you to make it, don't put anything, it will be automatically identified as 3 credit course. Okay, so if let's say you have 140 here under the SLT total, okay, if let's say you have 140 here, then immediately your cost, the credit value in green color here will be increased to 4 credits. Okay, so I hope it is clear for you. Any more question? Let me have a look. Okay, so Dr. Rosita, would like to, she would like to share the table 4 of their program. Okay, please do, PM Rosita.
Okay,
I can unshare my slide.
okay. This is basically a master's table 4 for one of the master's program. Bila dia prepare ni, saya rasa mungkin pemahaman dalam mengisi table 4 tu yang agak kurang lagi. Kalau doktor nampak ni ya, nampak semua dia
Nampak.
punya, nampak
Yes.
Dia punya semua saya dah suruh dia betulkan sebab semua dah jadi ODL dah. Sampai nanti 5.59. So saya pergi one by one dia punya ni. Bila saya tengok dekat sini, pengisian di sini. Dia banyak pengisian di sini.
Okay, so I think I can clearly identify the problem here. Okay, but I would like somebody else to do it for me. Siapa nak volunteer? Can anybody volunteer to comment on this particular SLP? Anybody? Ada tak nak comment on why it becomes the ODL?
Kecil sangatlah Dr. Azidah. Boleh minta.
Kecil sangat. Besar sikit?
Kecil kejap-kejap ya, saya usahkan.
Yes. Saya pun buka cermin mata ni, tak nampak. Masa
Sorry.
muda-mudi ni kan.
Ya, sorry.
Alright, okay. So anybody would like to comment? Nak tengok pengetahuan you all after our session ni. Alright, so Dr. Dennis mentioned too little of physical component. There are two, Dr. Dan Jadi cakap online, there are too much online component. Alright, the teaching and learning is being done online only. Yes, Dr. Agnes, Dr. Priscilla, independent learning should be equal to the physical time. Yes, as well. Alright, too many hours for the technology mediated, too little physical hours. Okay, semuanya pandai-pandai belaka. Yes, it is correct. Okay, and I really like the answer from mana tadi? Independent learning. Okay, you can see that they don't understand that PM Rosita, this course is how many credit hour course?
This is 80 credit. This is PhD program.
Okay, PhD program.
Yeah.
Of coursework, coursework component.
Yes.
Alright. So let's say, okay, you are looking at the number 1. Okay, number 1 is the operational mental health and so on. Alright. So the lecture is 1 hour physical only, and then 1 hour lecture online, and then you will have 1 hour independent learning. Alright, so independent learning should be 2 hours.
Yeah.
Alright, because it is equal to the 2 hours of physical and online synchronous learning. However, okay, because there are too much online learning here, then it becomes the ODL course. So when it is a conventional teaching and learning, okay, it should be more physical compared to the online learning. Satu. Alright. And then you must remind them that the independent learning must be equal to the physical, with not face-to-face learning. Meaning that if you have face-to-face 2 hours, then the non-face-to-face independent learning is 2 hours. Meaning that why it is 2 hours, the 2 hours face-to-face learning, okay, face-to-face learning it is the preparation, meaning that before lecture, they might flip through the notes and so on. They might go to your LMS to see what the lecturers have prepared. So the 2 hours, we are giving time for them to be independent, semak-semak sikit and sebagainya. So that's why it is 2 hours. However, if the lecturers is not going to do the physical or the online synchronous learning, then it can be 4 hours for independent learning. For example, if the lecturer put a video in the LMS, okay, but the video pun must put around 1 hour of SLT or 2 hours of SLT, then you can put 4 under the non-face-to-face independent learning. So the most the problematic area for this particular table 4 is the too much online learning, and as well as the non-face-to-face tu tidak cukup. Alright, tidak cukup. Tapi ada juga yang 5. Alright, tengok, you can see that in topic 13 ni, alright, suddenly you have 1 physical and 1 others, and then 1 online, and then the independent learning is 5. So if you have like 2, 1, 5, then this one should be 10. Sorry, betul 5, betul. Tiba-tiba pula. Alright, so if let's say, tetapi you must remember that, you must remind them bahawasanya you need to be clear on the independent learning as well as the guided learning. Saya suka lebih cakap guided learning, face to face or ODL or online learning. Okay, saya rasa clear tu. Memang nampak obviously they put too much hour on the online part.
Ya. Nampak.
Lagi satu, I think you should ask them to ni tengok, bila tengok dekat the credit hour, betul tak? Saya rasa dia adjust nanti bila sampai sini, ada credit hour.
Dia ada 6 credit. Kan biasa dia buat subjek research project ni.
Research project. Jadi that's why bila research project kebanyakannya adalah independent learning, bukan kuliah and so on, tetapi mungkin sebab this is a coursework based doctorate, so they have kuliah and so on lah. So I think that will be no problem. Jadi bila you come to this part, you can see that the online component is more than the face-to-face component. So you need the lecturer need to adjust this one, all right, and then adjust the time, all right, the SLT for this ni. Terus meeting with supervisor, habis settle, all right. Okay, so it's okay because it is a research project, no problem. Okay, cuma jangan letak semuanya online. Alright, for conventional course, it should be conventional lah. Okay, tapi we are allowing lecturers to have landed. So meaning that whatever you do, you must make sure that your course should be less than 80%. 79% should be okay of the SLT. Should be okay to be done online. Yeah. Okay. But 80% dah tak okay. So they just need to adjust the SLT. Alright, PM Rosita?
Alright, thank you. Okay, I stop.
Okay. Alright. So any more question from the for topic independent learning can be slightly more. Yes, you can. For example, like PM Rosita just now, it is a research based, so you don't have to put like so many kuliah, so many tutorial and so on. If let's say it is a very tough or research based course, it will be only independent, should be okay, meaning that you guided learning should be also there, because you know, even it is a research course, the lecturers need to help need to guide the supervisee, right? So there will be also a guided learning. But remember, jangan keliru, don't be confused because we are in the pandemic. Okay, this ODL is for normal situation. During the pandemic, if let's say your course is now being online, it is only for pandemic situation. And one thing I think I would like to highlight this, some of us are quite concerned because, for example, in USM lah, we have our last semester online, 100% online. This semester, semester 2, also we have online. So does it mean our program is an ODL program? Can anybody answer me? Siapa tahu? Okay, we have done the online learning throughout the pandemic last semester, semester 1, semester 2, 2019-2020, and then we have now is semester 1, and then it is still online. So we have 2 semesters of our teaching and learning online. So, okay, bagus. Alright, we have the answer here, or say no. Tak ada orang pun cakap it is ODL. It is still conventional. Okay, why? Because, no, the answer is incorrect, Dr. Vatana. Not because it is guided learning. Because we still have face-to-face. Okay, not because it is guided learning, Dr. Vatana, but it is because the program itself. Okay, we need to consider the program itself. For example, for a student, this is his or her second year. All right, so during the pandemic, he has 2 semesters online. But before that, in his first year, he has his program face-to-face. Okay, face-to-face for semester 1, semester 2, semester 3. Semester 3 still face-to-face. Semester 4 baru dia dapat, he has to be in the pandemic situation online. Semester 5 also online. So the whole program is not an ODL program because it has the component of face-to-face during the previous semester and inshallah for the next semesters. Okay, so that's why. Yes, that's why our course in our university can be considered, still be considered conventional, not ODL. Okay. The program usually approved as conventional first by MQA or KPT. Dr. Nuraini, okay, there are 2 dulu ya, last time, yes. Meaning that if you would like to do a program accreditation for ODL, for non-ODL institution, for non-ODL dulu-dulu dia kata mesti, wajib, it is compulsory for the HEP to have a full accreditation program, conventional, to be replicate into ODL. Okay, dulu. But now there is a new regulation. You can start scratch with a new program, but you must follow the procedure lah. Going through the provisional accreditation, you submit the form, provisional, and for ODL, okay, like I mentioned yesterday, you need to the ODL auditor like me. I'm going to go. For example, if the MTA call me to review, I need to see your readiness, your institution readiness for the ODL, okay? Meaning that if let's say you only have the platform, it is not, that does not mean that you are ready for ODL. We are looking at very comprehensive that I mentioned, like I shared yesterday, all right? Ya, buat dokumen baru apply ODL. Apply for akreditasi sementara dahulu, provisional accreditation. Alright, ya betul. 80% online baru kira ODL, betul, for the program.
Dr. Azidah,
Ya,
uh,
ya Pak Surya.
first tahniah for your great info.
Hey, Kak Long ada sini.
Well, very good. A
tiba
lot of
Prof.
info, and tahniah to UMS for having this session. Cuma maybe tadi ada terlepas you nak menjawab soalan tentang how do you determine to place 10%, 20%. Maybe I can help on answering that.
Ya. Boleh Prof. Surya singkatlah jawab.
Okay, sebab I know that you have given a lot of information. Basically, they depend on the niche of the program, of the courses. Kalau course tu more on psychomotor, so percentage to evaluate or assess student psychomotor will be higher. Let's say dia nak tengok psychomotor skills. So you have emphasized on psychomotor assessment maybe more than 30 to 40%. So basically that is one. Secondly, they also depending on taxonomy level. Let's say taxonomy level C2 for PLO1. So C2 basically we don't ask so many questions there. Maybe we will just confine to quiz or small short essay dan sebagainya. So basically that is one lah. And then it's also cost surrounding cost assessment plan, because each courses must have cost assessment plan. For example, 10% of student SLT equivalent to 12 hours. Okay, 20% equivalent to 20 hours or 3 credit lah. Yeah, so it will improve according to the percentage given. So basically, tadi ada question tu, maybe dah jawab, tapi I would like to give some more input lah tentang how do you determine to give 10%, 50%, but your calculation is very good. Secondly, tadi mungkin terlepas yang 84, 112 tu, maybe ada yang perlu penjelasan. 84 comes from independent learning and face-to-face and independent learning. Kalau 14 weeks times 3 credit will be 42. So independent learning automatically will be 42. That will cost you 84. Kemudian kalau dia 4 credit, 14 times 4 will be 56. So automatically independent learning will be 56. So equivalent to 112. Yeah. So that is my take. Dr. Azidah, there's a lot of info that I gotten from you. Thank you and well done.
Thank you, Prof. Surya. Thank you for assisting me. Alhamdulillah.
Thank you.
Alright, tersangka Prof. Surya ada pada hari ini. Okay. Yes.
Can I ask question?
Yes, Prof. Rashid.
Yeah. I think it's quite fundamental lah. The first question is with regard to beban pensyarah. I think before this also we have quite a number of discussion whether you want to organize ODL for certain program or not. And then during the deliberation, we got some myth in such a way that some people say ODL ni kita start banyak kerja, tapi selepas tu ringan lah bila dia berjalan. What do you think about it? I think lecturer also need to know that.
Okay.
Kita biasa buat blended lah yang separuh-separuh sebelum ni kan.
Okay, yes and no. Jawapan dia adalah okay. Meaning that, alright, soalan Prof. Rashid tadi, if let's say we assume that if we are doing ODL, the lecturers will be having to prepare before, and then they have, after that they will be less apa orang kata, masa untuk mengajar tu kurang dan sebagainya, dia akan relax sikit lah. Okay, they will be much more relaxed after they have prepared all the SIM and so on, which is not true. Okay, which is not true, meaning that it is depending on your design, the design of your course. Okay, meaning that if let's say the lecturers has prepared the self instructional materials that I mentioned yesterday. All right, so it can help them for their asynchronous learning. However, we would like to encourage all the lecturers to have a synchronous learning as well. Okay, like blended as well lah kan. Dalam blended di mana we don't do only asynchronous, we don't do only synchronous. Okay, and then I think it is a need for the students to see the lecturers, to meet the lecturers, to feel the sense of belonging to the course. Okay, they are not doing MOOC. All right, this is different from MOOC. This is an academic program. They enroll in that particular course for 14 weeks, for example. So there is a need for the lecturers to be interacting with the students during the 14 weeks. If the lecturers do only asynchronous, memanglah before they have to prepare the video and so on. Okay, then they think that during the semesters they will be like, okay, much more relaxed sebabnya, you know, all the materials have been parked in the platform. Okay, however, it is very important for an academic program that we have interaction, okay, synchronous interaction between the lecturers and the students. All right, so that is my answer. So yeah, sometimes it will be much more convenient, bukannya much more relaxed. It is much more convenient in terms of the materials have been prepared earlier, so tak adalah bila nak masuk kelas baru nak prepare and all that, and the students also are much more prepared. It is convenient, but nak kata much more relaxed tu tidak. Okay, mungkin lebih berat kepada pensyarah sebab they have to prepare before and then they have to also interact with the students during the semester. So that is my answer lah. This is my personal opinion. Okay, thank you, Prof.
The second one, I hope you still can entertain our question. With respect to pengiraan beban pensyarah kan, for performance evaluation towards end of the year, pembahagian tugas dan sebagainya. Di USM, dia ada beza tak untuk kursus yang ODL, yang F2F dan juga yang blended?
Disebabkan kami we have the School of Distance Education, alright, whereby all the PJJ or the ODL courses is part in the School of Distance Education. Whatever courses, the conventional courses in other PTJ, which is duplicated to be ODL, will be part at the School of Distance Education. So the beban kerja will be the same for the lecturers, okay, similar as the normal conventional course. Cuma mungkin it is they are being much more flexible in terms of mungkin the class will be during weekend, for example. So maybe they don't have to come to office during the weekdays. Okay, if USM is very flexible in terms of that because we don't have to punch in, don't have to punch out and so on. But as long as we meet the beban kerja yang sepatutnya for each of our lecturers, it should be okay. So I think that, and if let's say UMS would like to embark on the ODL, I think the beban kerja of the lecturers should be the same. Okay, tak adalah kata oh saya mengajar ODL maka beban kerja saya lagi banyak sebab saya kena sediakan video and so on. Okay, itu tidak benar lah. Okay, meaning that the beban kerja should be similar to when we teach during the conventional teaching and learning.
Okay, thank you Dr. Azidah. I ask the question because I think in Myra punya structure dia ada line pemberat lah. Still need to check lah. The last one, Dr. Azidah, dari segi governance, say for example, your opinion lah from your experience kan. Kalau kami nak buat ni, do we need to have one special or dedicated department to do this? Ataupun dia boleh by faculty macam Dr. Azidah mention tadi, ataupun setiap fakulti dia ada ODL program dia, dan macam mana tadbir urusnya ada kalau yeah, thank you.
Yeah, okay, thank you, Prof. Okay, yesterday I already mentioned about this. All right, so for a non-institution a non-ODL institution, all right, you don't need to appoint so many, you don't need many ODL experts actually. And for UMS, you already got your e-learning center, which is, I think you have an ODL expert there. Puan Salmie pun boleh jadi ODL experts as long as she belajar sikit-sikit menjurus kepada ODL should be okay, alright. Prof pun sama lah. So meaning that in an institution, you should have a center. Okay, yesterday I mentioned you should have a center or a person that will assist your PTJs in terms of ODL. Ada seorang expert pun okay. Alright, ada seorang expert yang boleh bantu pensyarah dalam menjalankan ODL, mengetahui bahawasanya what is the requirement of ODL, how to teach ODL and so on. So untuk satu should be enough. Okay, tak perlulah setiap PTJ appoint one person. Boleh juga, but you have one main coordinator yang for the whole university to look at the ODL. Alright. Kemudian yang itu memang syarat dia dalam ODL punya MQA, you need to have an ODL coordinator for the institution. Jadi tapi bukan untuk semua PTJ. So mesti ada. Dan juga you mesti for the program to be converted or to be, you want to make a new ODL program, you must the program or the PTJ must cari seorang expert untuk bantu. Okay, ada penasihat dari luar, pakar rujuk tentang how to do the ODL. Jadi you must prepare a form. Okay, so meaning that a form on area 1, area 2, area 3 mungkin sampai area 7. Then dia akan tengok okay your governance macam mana, you ada tak ODL expert and so on. Dia akan bagi cadangan adakah the program will be okay lah untuk dimasukkan untuk professional accreditation. Jadi the form, your institution should have prepared the form before you masuk untuk professional accreditation. Jadi penasihat luar ini akan isi. Okay, for example, your platform is okay ke tidak, and then your self-instructional material okay ke tidak, telah prepared, okay, at least for the first year punya courses, and then borang itu akan dinilai sewaktu ODL punya provisional accreditation lah. Maksudnya kita akan ada satu sesi khas. Kalau ODL, kalau program konvensional tak perlu ada meeting. Okay, panel tak perlu pergi ke institusi untuk check. Tetapi untuk ODL, kita akan ada satu sesi khas untuk menilai program itu layak atau tidak layak untuk dianugerahkan, untuk meneruskan program secara ODL. Jadi memang ada lawatan untuk ODL. Ianya berlainan sikit dari konvensional. Kalau akreditasi sementara tak perlu, ni just hantar borang, dia akan approve. Ini yang berlaku pada minggu lepas pun saya ada 2 lawatan untuk akreditasi sementara sahaja, untuk tengok ODL sahaja. Kita tak kita tengok dia punya platform dah ada ke, ada ODL coordinator yang tahu macam mana nak jawab tentang teaching and learning. Okay, if possible you have an instructional designer who help the lecturers to prepare the self-instructional material, it is much better. Macam tu.
Terima kasih.
Ya. Sama-sama. Alright. So I think kita dah exceed 12 to 12:10. Okay, thank you very much everybody. Tadi saya sebenarnya semalam saya ada cakap saya nak share the self instructional material. However, kalau saya tak sempat lah hari ni. Okay, so anybody would like to have a look, just email me. I can share some example of self-instructional material. Okay, for those who would like the slide that I share today, nanti I will send to the admin and they will disseminate lah ya. Alright, so thank you very much everybody. Thank you very much for the questions. Actually, I also learned from you. Thank you very much. Okay, InsyaAllah ada rezeki kita jumpa lagi. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good afternoon. Happy lunch everybody.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Azidah.
Thank you, Prof.
Sama-sama.
Thank you very much,
Dr.
Dr.
Azidah.
Azidah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doctor.
Well done,
Prof
Dr.
Surya,
Azidah.
terima kasih banyak-banyak Prof Surya.
You are there too.
Surya.
Oh, wonderful,
Are you?
wonderful.
Reunion.
Wonderful, you're here to help. Yeah, wonderful. Thank
Miss
you.
you
Thank
all, huh? Okay.
Yeah,
Take
great,
care. Stay safe.
Yeah.
Well done. Thank you, Rahma, UMS.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Azidah.
Prof Surya
Thank
bila
you.
Dr. Azidah.
Thank you, Salmie.
Apa dia?
Thank you, Dr. Rahma.
Apa Rosita?
Bila dah boleh jumpa you?
Ni dah jumpa ni online.
Alah-alah main je kita ya.
Thank you. Alright. Take care.
Okay.
Take care.
Okay.
Puan Salmie, thank you very much. Well coordinated and well moderated.
Not well moderated, Prof. Because Dr. Azidah is very, very, very informative. And then so many things to absorb.
Good, good. So many things are clarified. So very clear. Very good.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prof.
Okey, Batu.
Siapa itu? Allah, saya lupa tanya soalan. Dr. Azidah masih ada lagi ke tidak?
Sudah.
Sudah keluar? Okay. Tak apalah, boleh kontak juga. So, thank you for all yang datang. Actually, sangat fruitful. Maybe next time we'll call for others yang memang pakar untuk bantu kita sikit-sikit for develop apa ni namanya ni? Our ODL program kan. Prof Tensia sudah keluar ke belum?
I think so.
Ya, sebab the next step
But I'm
is
still inside this session.
yeah. So the next step is for the faculty to decide whether they want to do ODL program which is suitable for the faculty. Itu yang saya rasa the instruction should come lah from maybe TNCA lah.